Hey guys, welcome to the weekly horoscope for the week of October 10 through the 16, I believe. 10 to 16. I don't know why, but for some reason I'm expecting this week to be really dope. So I hope the cards say that. All right, so first I'm going to pull out an archetype. This is going to be like an overall energy card. And then we're going to go through, pull a message, and then look at the energy for each of the different human design types. All right, so we got throat chakra in reverse, sacral chakra in reverse, and the Six of Swords in reverse. All right, this is really interesting because there is a channel of energy that connects the throat and the sacral chakra, and one of the gates that connects to that channel is, I believe, the channel that the sun is transiting this week. So just nerding out a little bit on what this energy looks like for me. So what it looks like is an opportunity to embrace a change and actually grow and connect. Use it as a excuse or a reason to connect to spirit, to connect and listen to your intuition and move differently than you normally would. And a lot of people are not going to recognize it for what it is, and they're just going to fall into their normal pattern. And that's why all of these came out in the reverse. But when we look at this energy for what it is, it's actually really dope. It is a powerful energy of manifestation. It's a powerful energy of working in one accord with what you want, where you want to go, and your soul, like your spirit, your path, your expected path, your best path, right? So the way I see it, I don't really see destiny as a train on a track for most of us. You know, there is a design type that their destiny is pretty much train on a track, and no matter who or what tries to intervene, they're barreling straight towards that outcome, right? But for the most of us, because we want to interact, because we want to connect. There are design types that are here to learn about other people. There are design types that are here to bond with other people. There are types that are here to cause mutations and changes in the way that energy normally moves. And so those interactions with one another are like the sweet spot for most of us, right? So we're wanting that variety and that change, but I see destiny as your bullseye, right? It's your target, and there are plenty of different places on that target that are good, you know. But the goal is to get as close to the center of that as you can, which would be your best possible outcome for your life, for your situation at all times, right? And that's a moving thing, you know. Once you get there, then it either expands or it moves to the next thing, right? So the way that I'm seeing this is like there's a block, and I'm going to look at each of these cards and try to see if I can interpret the block that's stopping us all from really recognizing this week and the opportunity that's brought to us this week for what it is. I'm pretty sure that astrologically the full moon in Aries is like a peak point, you know, like things build up to what happens around that particular moon because of the Aries energy. And so I can see this week as being a part of, you know, things happening and unfolding and moving in a certain direction. And if you're not aware of it, that by the time you do become aware of it the week after, right, that if you're not prepared, you're just going to react in the way that you would have reacted prior to learning, you know, all the things that you've worked on thus far, right? And so then the cycle continues with you in the same place. I keep saying checkpoint. I keep saying save point because that's really how I look at it. When we're working on tending to our vibration, we're working our way up the emotional scale in order to get to those higher, faster moving vibrations. It's literally like you move, and then as long as you can sustain it, you can make that your new set point, right? So within that vibration, you have things that are in the vicinity that are not quite there, right? So when I look at it like a musical scale, you have different there are notes between the notes. There are the sharps and the flats. And the human voice is able to slide. You know, some instruments are able to slide and play the notes in between even that smaller increments, right? So those increments in between, those are the vicinity of that note, right? So say, for instance, we are in the note of contentment. You know, like just generally, like everything's fine, but if I stay here for too long, I'm definitely going to get bored, right? There are things that are on the edge of your awareness, that are in your vicinity, in your orbit, that you can access, that are either going to lead upward or downward from anywhere you are, okay? So being aware of that, holding to, you know, something within that area. If you're going upward, then your set point moves upward. If you take that step downward, your set point moves downwards. Incremental, it's very slowly. And I really look at sleeping as the checkpoint, as the save point. You're saving your vibration where it was at when you sleep, okay? But we can also use it as a reset, like like a checkpoint, like a reset. So say, for instance, you take a nap in the middle of the day to try and get back to where you were when you woke up. Initially, you know, that actually works for getting back to, you know, clearing the whiteboard, clearing off the whiteboard and starting over where you were before whatever happened today knocked you off your game, you know? So every different subject that you encounter has a different set point. And you want to kind of get them all in the vicinity of where you're going, right? But they're pretty much all going to kind of be in similar places, but some are going to be lower than others. The ones that you spend the most time focusing on are going to become that initial, set point that I was talking about. All right. That's how we move. So if you think about that in a thought work process way, it makes sense of how you could actually incrementally work your way up intentionally, or how you can end up in the same place without knowing it, or how you can end up incrementally going downward, So for our generators, we have the gate 6. And so for me, that means that a lot of us are going to, generators are going to come across a person-to-person type of conflict. It's going to either be something that's going wrong that you feel like you need to stand up for, or there's going to be a situation where you have to step in and be the diplomat and try to restore the peace, or there's going to be, some kind of situation that you feel like something went wrong and you need to rectify it. And if you don't, then that's what closes off that sacral chakra energy. That's what shuts down the manifestation process. That's what disconnects you from the power of the sacral, right? So listening to your inner authority of your sacral chakra and staying within your receptive energy field is going to be very, very critical for generators for this week in order to navigate this incident or argument or whatever it is, and adapt to the change in the way that you want to, respond to it in the way that you actually want to for your growth and for your path where you're headed, as opposed to letting it pull you into what it's doing, right? Woo, all right. So for manifesting generators, it's a similar thing, but on steroids. And I believe for some of us, it's actually going to be within you, and it might not actually involve somebody else directly. It could be a situation where you feel powerless, or it could be a situation where you are the one that everybody is looking to and it feels chaotic, because you're not utilizing that energy that you need to tap into for this. And I'm getting that it's going to be very intuitive. You're literally going to have to listen to your intuition. It's not going to be the week to pull a card for yourself. That's not going to work this week. It's not going to be the week to try and decipher the symbols. It's going to be a week that symbols are coming in and you need to document them. It's going to be a week that something happens that pulls you all the way into the 3D, and you're going to have this temptation to look at it from a limited 3D perspective and try to solve it from there, even though you know how this all works now, and you know that that's not ever going to work for you, especially being a generator. Manifesting generators are generators. You have that calling in attractive, receptive energy field around you. So anytime you try to work against that, all of that energy gets trapped, it gets stuck, and that's when you need to come see me, because there's not a set procedure or field or way to unblock that energy without the help of somebody who knows what they're looking at. All right. So next we have the manifestor. The manifestor has the gate 23, which is interesting because I feel like you guys had this one recently. If not, I don't know. I keep seeing this card. There's something up with this card. But it is a mental energy for the manifestor. So with this being powerful, creative energy, What I'm seeing is change or get left kind of thing for the manifester. Things are not going to, they're not on the same track as what you were expecting. It's like you were planning for something to go a certain way, and so you were going to move accordingly, basically, but in your manifestor way, right? And this situation this week is going to pan out differently. It's gonna there's going to be a need for you to think on your feet and adjust very abruptly, very quickly. And if you are in your head, if you're in mental energy when that happens, you have a potential to get stuck. And that will last. You will be like that all the way through to the full moon. Either playing and replaying what happened, what should have happened, why did I say this, why didn't I say that kind of thing, or frustrated, like this should have worked, or angry, manifestors, you guys have the anger, not the frustration like us. Okay, so for projectors, the projector block is not just mental energy, but mindset. So this is conditioning. This is something very old that is being kicked up in you. This is Mercury retrograde work that you are having to dig deep down into and look at it and see it for what it is, so that you can move with this energy of change instead of getting stuck in a mindset. So you guys are both in mental energy, the manifestor and the projector. You guys are Ajna, mental energy, and in a position where it's very, very easy to get stuck. So I want you guys to be very mindful and pay a lot of attention to the way that things are panning out around you. And when you see something that is going left, I want you to ask yourself, what was I just thinking about? Where was I mentally when I got myself into this situation? Was I humming and skipping along to the radio, or was I ruminating about something that I don't want to happen? Was I planning for things to go bad? Was I expecting this? Did I know this was about to happen? Because that's where I was vibrationally, where my set point was, okay? And then for the reflectors are on, reflectors are on some leadership energy. All right. So if you know who your reflector is, definitely look to them this week and see what their set point is, to get a good idea and understanding for what's going on in your tribal, circle, because they need to be listened to this week, wherever and whoever they may be. They have a slightly advanced perspective on whatever the issue is that's coming up, right? So I'm not saying, oh, just do what they say blindly, but I'm saying use where they're at, as a gauge. If they are in disaster mode, disaster thinking, that is an indication to you. If they are in, you guys are just making this a way bigger deal than it needs to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot more information there for you if you know that that's a reflector. So that is what I have for you guys. It looks like another very, very dynamic week. It looks like the manifestors and the projectors are likely to be out there trying to lead us, but because they're likely to be in mental energy, they're going to lead us wrong. So the generators, you need to listen to your sacral. You need to tap into your inner guidance. Don't look to the outer guidance of the minds of people who are in that energy that's not reliable for making our decisions, okay? So, again, it helps to know who the manifestor is, who the projector is, but because we can't always know that everywhere, knowing what your inner authority is never going to lead you wrong, all right? Hit me up if you need me. I love you guys. I'll see you next week.